Hello everyone, this is Dean, and thank you for returning to my channel. I don't know about you, but I've been looking at Facebook and YouTube and TikTok people, and everybody is having a fit about what Trump did. Did you really expect him to do something different? Now, I'm not rubbing it in, but I guess I am rubbing it in. If you've been listening to Celestial, the Master's Voice Prophecy blog, she already talked about this stuff years ago. And I was going back over my notes, and I started listening to her in February the 2nd, 2024. So it's right up on almost a year. I made this list on the 22nd of February of last year. She was talking about, she had a disaster prophecy. And after the disaster prophecy, I went and I made a list because this was suggested in her video. And these are some of the things that she suggested in the video that God told her to tell his people. And you know we are the people, right? Okay. Survival needs. Passports. I don't know about you, but if things get bad and continue to go bad, which they are, because this is something that God has decreed on the United States because of all the evil deeds that they're doing, and they won't turn from what they're doing, and they're trusting in themselves. They don't want to acknowledge God for who he is. So the United States is pretty much doomed. They're going through what they're going through. We are going through what we're going through because it has been prophesied, and God said he's not changing his mind. So the good got to suffer for the bad. But he's giving us a warning, and he's giving us a warning so we can be prepared. Now, there are scriptures in the Bible that talk about preparedness. Hebrews 11:7 talked about Noah. Noah built on that ark for 100 years. But because of the warning that God gave him, he had enough time to prepare. He prepared not only for his family, but for every animal too that was on this earth. There was a lot of preparations because there was a lot of animals. So also in Proverbs 6, chapter 6, verses 6 through 11, it talks about hard preparations for the future. So now we need to start preparing for the future. Things are not going to go back, y'all. They're not going to go back to the way it was before COVID. It's not going to happen. The way things are going, we are heading to a civil war. And during the Civil War, if you go and do your history, put it up on YouTube. Instead of looking at all this crazy stuff they doing on TikTok, pull up some educational stuff about what was going on through the Civil Wars. And you'll see there was famine, no food, hardly no provisions at all. People had to stand in lines for hours just to get milk and cheese and bread because there was no food. And during the Civil War, in which we are heading to, we're going back into another Civil War, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. So we have to prepare. We already see the way things are going, and we cannot sit back and wait and depend on somebody to do something for us. That's not going to happen. So we have to be smart and good stewards of what God is already giving us. So a lot of you are is looking at taxes coming up. Okay. Stop running to the mall and paying for these other people's children's education, college degrees. Stop running to the mall and paying for these other people's children's Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and Porsches. Stop running to the mall and paying for these other people's extravagant vacations that we sitting back and wishing we could take. You could if you start giving them your money. You can pay for your own vacation because we are literally paying for theirs. We just have to be smart. When you look at the Hispanic race, they have a formula and they stick to it. And they teach it to their kids. You see a Hispanic family in the neighborhood, you'll see one. Next thing you know, you'll see two. When I moved in my house, and I had my house built on Detroit Street, and I moved in my house, it was a lot of elderly white people, a few blacks. I don't remember seeing any Mexicans. My kids were small. First grade, second grade, kindergarten. By the time they got in high school, the whole neighborhood was full of Mexicans. All the white people had to move out except for one neighbor across the street. They didn't move, they stayed. But every other house on that block was the Mexicans. And the people next door to me, the lady lost her house and Mexicans moved into there. And now that whole area is nothing but Mexicans. You can't get mad at them for working the formula and sticking to it. You can't get mad at them. They say, don't hate the player, hate the game. We got to do the same thing. We got to get a plan. And first of all, we got to learn how to work together. I was listening to an Oriental lady on TikTok. And let me see if I can pull up her web page. She is, I think, Chinese. And she just told the truth about something that I've been saying for a long time. Her on TikTok at Amy Chen, AMYCHEN, and she tells everything about how the United States bargains with them to come in America and lets them know, when you come to America, we're going to give you provisions and we're going to let you open up a store or a business, but you're going to put it in the black neighborhood. And she said they feel like, and they came to the realization that the United States was using them to keep us down, putting them in our neighborhoods. We spending our money in their stores, but how many Chinese people live in our neighborhoods? No, they don't. The white people don't want us coming into their neighborhoods, but they let them go in their neighborhoods because they're going and buying nice houses, and their houses is going up in value. So they send them in our neighborhood to get our money, but come back to their neighborhood to spend the money. And so we have to learn to stick together. Nobody is going to help us. We have to help ourselves. As a family, we have to come together, put aside our differences, get us a plan, work together, have family meetings. Me and my family, when we're together, that's all we talk about. It's the future and trying to get things together and what we're going to do and trying to stay ahead so we won't be caught off guard. You got to be thinking. You can't just go with any way the wind blow is cool with me. Okay, we'll see how that worked for you. How's it working for you so far? I don't think it's working for you very well. So as I was listening to Celestial, she was talking about some things and that God had told her. She said God has told her to tell the people, get your passports together. There are going to be some people that's just, that's going to be able to afford to get out of the United States when things get too bad. You have to get your passport. If you have kids, each one of your kids have to have a passport. Passport lasts for 5 years. So after 5 years, you have to get it renewed. If you move to another country, your passport have to be at least valid for at least up to a year. They give you up to, some countries give you up to a year to stay there without changing over your citizenship. But your passport have to be good for that long. I sent in my papers to renew my passport in October, and they're saying they still processing my paperwork. And I'm just getting mine renewed. So we're already behind in the game. These people here been doing it. That's why it's so backed up. We just now even thinking about it. But I'm telling you, if times get too hard and you can get up out of here with your family, do it. Do it. Start looking at places to go. As I was listening to Prophetess Celestial, she was talking about Canada, South America, Mexico. I I looked at places in South America like Guyana. And I looked at the food cost there, the cost of living. And a lot of the states that you move, countries that you want to move in, they will let you know before you come here. We want to know what you're going to be living, how you're going to be living. You're not coming over here and living in no cardboard box and homeless. No, they want to know if you have a steady income coming in. They want to know if you're going to be able to take care of yourself coming into their country. You're not coming over there and just with no money. No, they want to know what kind of income you coming there with, and if you have a job offer when you come there, how you going to make it. So my suggestion is, we already talked about savings, putting your savings in a high yield savings account. There are online banks that will let you put a deposit, and let me give you the name of the bank. I wrote it down too. Where there's no deposit amount. Some of the online banks require that you deposit a certain amount. This bank does not require that. And they let you deposit, and you even get a debit card. The only thing about online banking, if you need money and you know you're going to need money, you have to do it like a couple of days in advance, because it's online. It's going to take a while for the money to get transferred to your bank here. Okay, so the name of the bank is SYNCHRONY. And they APR right now is 4.10. And this is not a CD. This is not a CD. You can put your money in their savings account, and you'll make $4.10 off of every $100 every month. And it don't require that you have a certain bank amount balance. It doesn't require that you deposit so much in there. So you use that bank account like you would use your bank account here in town, but you're going to be getting more than 1 penny. Okay? And my suggestion is, when you open up the bank account, you keep depositing in it. Because every month you're going to be making this $4.10 off of this money. So the more you put in it, the more interest you're going to have. So this is a way of your money making money for you without doing anything. And you might not think $4.10 is a lot a month, but that's what you're getting at your bank right now. You only get 1 penny. So $4.10 is a whole lot more. Okay? So also what I want to talk about is, I don't know, but back in the day, our grandparents did not run to the pharmacy for everything. They use home remedies. If you have a grandparent or a great-great-grandparent that's still alive, I suggest you get your pen and paper, and you go in there and you talk to them about home remedies, and you write that down. You're going to need it. It's going to become a time we're not going to be able to go to the doctors, because if he's turning back the paperwork where working for the federal, they have the right to say that they don't want to hire you because of your skin color or your hair or your religion. It's only going to trickle down to the basic jobs. And it's just going to be a matter of time when you go apply for a job application, they're going to say, look, we're not hiring blacks. They won't get, they're not going to have no penalization for saying that, because he's giving them the right. He's telling them right now, hey, if you don't want to hire him, you ain't got to. You will not be penalized. This is why the Civil War is coming back, because black people are going to be like up to here, you know. But even getting fed up to here, we still have to make preparations. Nobody's going to help us. We have to help ourselves. Our great-grandparents and great-grandparents left us some good examples. You wonder why every time you went to grandma and grandpa's house, there was always something to eat, because they preserved. They put stuff up. They didn't eat everything they went and got. They had a portion they put up front to eat, and the other went for saving, for hard times, emergencies. You wonder why mama can always go to grandma's house and come out with a bag of groceries, because grandma preserving. Grandma is preparing. Grandma put stuff aside. And I'm talking to the young ladies, especially you young single females that have kids. You know that your kids is the only one they can depend on. You know this. It's your job to prepare for them. I don't care if it is just beans and rice. At least they got something on their stomach. I don't care if it is just peanut butter and jelly. At least they got something on their stomach. They're not going hungry. You as a mother, that is your job to prepare. And you as a man of the household, you have to help her think. You can't put everything on her. You have to put y'all heads together and come up with a plan and stick to it. And hold each other accountable to stick to the plan. That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way it's going to work. We see all the other races do it, and it works. We're going to have to do it, y'all. We're going to have to do it. Okay, besides getting your passport, and if you are thinking about, and if you are able to move to another country, look at your location and pull up all the information you need to find out. Is there a thriving black neighborhood in that area? How do they feel towards blacks? What is the cost of living? Transportation. Am I gonna need my own car? What is it gonna cost for me to bring my belongings there? Or do I have to start all over again? Is it cheaper for me to sell everything and buy again once I get there? All this you need to look at ahead of time and prepare and plan for. Like I said, I've already been looking. I'm selling everything. I ain't hauling nothing but a few bags, a few clothes in the bag, and I'm gone. I've already told my kids. I've already told my sister and family. When God tell me to go, I'm gone. Adios, amigos. Yes, hasta mañana. If I can, if I see you. It'll probably be on Zoom. But hasta mañana. See you tomorrow. See you later. Okay. Also, while we're still here preparing, my suggestion is start putting aside non-perishable items. Now, y'all don't laugh at me, but I have a box in the back of my truck with tuna fish, canned soup, canned fruits, almond milk that I know won't spoil, crackers, stuff I can eat on in time of emergency. If I get caught off guard and I can't, and the store ain't got nothing, like we experienced during Katrina, and we went to some of these stores, there was nothing in there. I was like, I would never get caught like that again. I ride around in the back of my car with at least a 32 pack of water and a box of non-perishable items. I am not going to go hungry. It might not be what I want, but it's going to be what I need, okay? Okay, so my suggestion is take a certain amount of your taxes and buy some non-perishable items. Instant oatmeal, instant grits, cereal, almond milk, because almond milk holds really good if you don't open it. It has a long shelf life. Crackers, tuna fish, peanut butter and jelly, stuff like that, water, and out of sight, because I'm telling you, when them kids see it, they're going to ask for it. Put it in the back of your closet, put it in a plastic container with a lid on it, so them kids won't see it and be asking for it. Out of sight, out of mind. You got to remember, this is your emergency stash. You don't go in there unless there is an emergency. So if we do have to go into evacuation, you put your bin in the back of your car, you and your kids keep it moving. So if you do go into a store and there's no food, at least you got something to hold y'all over for a couple of days. Okay? And everybody seen the last evacuation we had, baby. It wasn't no checks. We ain't get no checks. Everybody got spoiled at Katrina. Everybody got spoiled. We got spoiled because we got them two $2,500 checks. And everybody was crazy buying tennis shoes and bags and ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff. And it was just a setup. Because as fast as they gave it to a lot of us, we put it right back in their hands, going to the store buying ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff. All we did was boost the economy up. And that was what they was anticipating on us doing. And we did exactly what they thought we was going to do. We went and wasted our money. A lot of them took theirs to the bank and deposited. And let it draw interest. And that's why a few months later, or a couple of years later, we see them getting houses and cars. And we're like, what are they going to do? They deposit their stimulus checks and let it draw interest. They put it in high-yield savings accounts. They put it in CDs and they let it draw interest. And after 5 years, they was able to get a down payment on a house, buy a brand new car, a brand new Ford F-150 that we going down there trying to copycat on and got car notes on. It's all about here. We have to change our mindset. Nobody is going to come and try to save us. We have to save ourselves through the strength of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's given us warnings. He's given us people like Celestial. He's given us people like Pastor Omar Tebow that's teaching us and letting us know, that we are the people. And because we are the people, the devil is going to always be after us. His main objective is to keep us down. But we got to be smarter than that. We can't keep saying that it's their fault and it's their fault. Yeah, a lot of that is true, but then we have a part to play too. Are you going to just roll over on your back? I'm going to say like a roach with your legs up and just say, I give? Or are you going to get up and fight it like our ancestors did in the past? It's time now to go back to the old time ways. And get that inner strength, that survival strength. Let that kick in. It's in us. It's always been in us. This is why the other is so afraid of us. Because if we can do what we did with no education, build this United States like we did with no education, they know if we ever come together as a race, the rest of everybody, they are out of here. That's why every time we get a city and we do our own thing, they bomb it, they flood it, they burn it. They know the power in us. We don't know the power in ourselves. Okay? Also, other things to start putting aside is canned vegetables, canned soups, dried beans, dried rice, pasta. These are things that last on the shelf a very long time. Powdered milk, salt, water, because salt is good for healing. Salt is good for preserving your meat. Okay? Other things that we can start stacking up on your medicine. If you know you have a medicine that you have to take every month, start getting your medicine in 3-month supplies at a time. So if an evacuation or a national disaster do catch you, you know you have at least 2 to 3 months supply of your medication. Okay? Also, start stacking up on just regular cough syrup, Neosporin, let's see what that, hand sanitizer. We're going to always need that. Toilet paper, Kleenex, bleach. These are things that you know you're going to need no matter what comes and what goes. But if times get hard, which they are going to get hard, because I don't know if you're listening, but the jobs are going to get less. We're going to end up in another back in lockdown. I don't know if y'all been listening. China is already in bad shape. They have no more room in the hospitals in China. The UK next to them is doing bad too. So we're going back in another COVID event on lockdown again. We're heading back there. They're just keeping on down because I don't want to. They're trying to, in other words, don't want us to panic. But no, they're telling their people. They're getting prepared. But they can forget about me in the booster, baby. You won't booster me. You keep that booster to yourself. I am not interested. Okay, so let's stock upon our medical and I want to say our medical kits. You know, like Band-Aids, alcohol, like I said, Neosporins, toilet paper, paper towels, Kleenex, hand sanitizer, salt, and I'm gonna tell you what else work for sanitizing if you can't find bleach or you run out of bleach. Fingernail polish remover. It has the acetone in it. That's the sanitizer. Yeah. Fingernail polish remover is a sanitizer. You can use that. Stack up on your, we said water, personal hygiene products, your toothpaste, your mouthwash. And I'm going to tell you, that old sweet mouthwash stuff ain't worth nothing. Get you some of that Listerine. And if you get Dr. Tischner's, you got to dilute it. Because I made a mistake and put that Dr. Tischner's in my mouth, full street, and burn all the inside of my lip up. That Dr. Tischner's don't play. But it shows sanitized. Okay. Stuff like that is things you're going to need. It's on the line of medication. So if your kids have asthma, you don't, if they can get these stuff renewed every 3 months, or every month, get it. Stack up on their asthma pumps. Stack up on the solutions for their albuterol for the machines. Stack up on the things these kids are going to need. Okay? Your plastic gloves. Stack up on that. Vinegar. Vinegar is another sanitizer. Vinegar is also good for sanitizing your skin. Even to take honey. Honey is good. Honey is the best thing that works for coughing besides cough drops. Better than cough drops. When I had COVID and I would have coughing spells. And I tell y'all, even now, I still, and this has been years, I went a whole year without tasting and smelling. And even now, I have my spells. I smell for maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then I can't smell for another 3 weeks. Like right now, I cannot smell. I don't have no taste and smell. I've been like that for like 4 days. I might go on and on there for another week or two. And I've been like this since COVID. The only thing that would reverse this back to the way I was surgery. Not going to happen. I have scarred lung tissues, they say. But I believe God to be a healer. And so I'm going to roll with that. And I've been functioning like this since COVID. No tasting, no smell for months at a time. Weeks at a time. Sometimes I'll go 2 months without tasting or smelling. But I'm good. I learned to deal with it. You know, so I'm what they call a long hauler. Okay, so we know that honey, I would have the coughing spells, y'all. I would cough for an hour nonstop. I would cough so much till my lungs couldn't get air. As soon as I would breathe in, I would cough it out. And so I would end up and then cough. I couldn't even do the breathing treatments because I was confident. I couldn't breathe it in. So, a tablespoon of honey. Take that tablespoon of honey. Then I do a tablespoon of lemon juice or vinegar behind it to get the phlegm off of my chest. And that honey stopped their coughing, just like that. But you cannot give honey to a child under 1 year old. You can't give a child under 1 year old honey. Okay, so stack up on your cough medicine, your Neosporin, your asthma treatment medication, your prescription medication. Stack up on it. Stack up on the things that I talked about on this list. And we'll go through some more things on the list the next time I come back on. But I want you to be encouraged. Dry your eyes. Stop crying. Don't be fearful. Let's just kick it into high gear and do what we have to do as a people. Do what we have to do for our family. Do what we have to do for ourselves. This is the way they did it back then, and it worked. This is the way we're going to have to do it now, and it will work. Get your plan together and stick to it. Stop paying for their vacation and their kids' education. Self-preservation is the law of nature. It's time to start worrying about yourself. Because running out there, buying all those expensive purses and all that stuff, you might not even live to wear it. And you sure can't take it with you when you go. I'd rather have my money in the bank drawing interest and I can get my hand on it. And we're going to talk about that too. Because all this system and stuff is gonna eventually crash. The American dollar ain't gonna be worth diddly squat after a while. So you gotta be watchful for that. But why is doing what it do? Let it do what it do. Make that money, let that money make money for you. As while you can. Because that's gonna change later on. Okay, I hope I said something that was helpful. Leave comments and in below. I'm asking you to subscribe and share my videos. I will be back. I'm going to come back on tomorrow. And that's going to be my throwback day. And I'm going to be talking about going to school at West Oakland in Beaumont, Texas. I have some things that I remembered about going to that school that I want to share. And if you aren't here, when you see it, because it's going to probably be pre-posted, pre-recorded. When you read it or when you hear it, I want you to go in the comments and put that you know who I'm talking about. Because a lot of you, the things I'm going to talk about, you were there at school with me. If you looking at my videos, you'll know the person I'm talking about. I'm going to just do initials. I'm not doing names. But if you was at that school, you're going to know who I'm talking about. And I want you to say, thumbs up. Yes, I know who you're talking about. So tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about going to school at West Oakland Elementary in Big Beaumont, Texas. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I said something that was helpful. Be encouraged. We can do this. We have to do this. We have no choice. Nobody's going to do it for us. God has given us warning. He's put people in our path to help us, to guide us, and to lead us. Let's just hang on to it and do what we have to do as a people. So we won't be caught off guard. So we won't be in such despair. Get grandma to tell you about them recipes. Write them down. And we're going to be doing that too. Recipes. We're going to be talking about canning. I'm going to show you how. We're going to talk about making biscuits from scratch. Doing cookies from scratch. Instead of buying all them Chips Ahoys and all that stuff, girl, make your cookies and put them, put the dough in the freezer. And when you get ready for it, throw it out. We're gonna do all that. It's time to be money smart. It's time to be money smart. We have to be more wise about our money. As going to the restaurants, all that's fine and good, but it's time to change all that. A lot of people we spending our money with, they don't want us. They just want our money. Keep your money in your house. Keep your money in your pocket. Keep your money in your purse. Because come the day of tomorrow, you need something to eat. They're going to be way in Hawaii somewhere with their family. And you're going to be the last person on their mind. And even if you catch them and you ask for help, I got my whole family to think about. Okay. So let's think about our family. Let's be good stewards over what God gives us. Amen. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye-bye.